I hate him. He was like in my apartment multiple times. He met my friends. He met my son casually. Divorce sucks, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Divorce is really hard. I thought I could talk about this. I thought I was so past this. I moved out 2 years ago. He's not a bad guy at all. At all. He was not the guy for me anymore after 24 years. Could be a great person and not be my husband anymore. Both things can be true. I'm not. I had a whole wall in our house of like family portraits. I'm like, I'm the one who ended it. This was my choice. I have this, in my apartment. It like, this is all my stuff. This is my choice. You don't expect it to hurt 2 years later.
Welcome back, family. Today we are going to review this modern woman who instantly regrets leaving her 24-year-old marriage for no valid reasons, just to go get pumped and dumped by Chad and Tyrone. Well, before we all witness the tears of regrets, I will let her introduce herself and let her summarize her insane life's decisions-making while she tries to justify how she destroyed her own family, so that you guys can have a taste of the debauchery we will endure in today's episode.
Get unready with me while we talk about my divorce. Today's been an emotional roller coaster. Actually, this whole week has been an emotional roller coaster. I've been divorced for under a year. I moved out of my house a year and a half ago. I was married for 24 years. It's amicable and all that, but it was my decision. I live in a 2-bedroom. I was living with my ex for over 20 years in a big, beautiful house with our son. He's in college now. The way that all of this works, and I guess like grief in general, it's not linear. It's not like you move from one phase and then you go into the next phase, and it just like comes and goes. And it could just like hit you at any time, especially when other things in your life aren't going as great. You realize you're on your own and it's just you. Like, it's really fucking scary. But one thing that has helped me a lot is TikTok. This morning, I was like tears, the whole thing, questioning everything, telling myself like, I wish I could go back, or I wish we can go back to when we were happy. So I went on TikTok and I searched stages of grief and how they connect with divorce. One woman said that it's okay to be sad about what you thought you were going to have and don't. Because part of like when you get married, right, you're hopeful, you're building this future, this life that you're going to have with this other person, where we will be together forever, for better or for worse, for the rest of our lives. So when you are faced with the reality of now you're in a completely different life, this is really fucking scary. I'm trying to share my experiences because going on TikTok today and hearing these other people's voices made me feel less alone. I'm really grateful for people that shared their vulnerability and shared their feelings. So one of the women said, and I'll find her name and I'll tag her, loss is loss. And starting over is starting over. But it's really about learning to navigate it and walk in it. So I'm going to try to apply that mindset. And this is a loss of what I thought I was going to have and don't. And that I don't want to necessarily like pretend those feelings aren't happening, but understand how to move through them, how to move with them. A lot of it is that I'm scared. I'm afraid of messing up. I'm afraid of fucking up again. And when I start thinking that way, I think I have to stop and ask myself, okay, does that mean, what if I move into the wrong apartment? Or what if I buy property and I regret it? Or what if I date someone and they hurt me, or I date the wrong person? What is there such thing as like the wrong apartment? Maybe there's multiple apartments that are right. Like nobody's rating my life. Nobody's judging me. There's no like right or wrong, good or bad. And I have to get away from that thinking, kind of deflating the danger and bringing the stakes down a little bit. But it's good to know that I can just come on here and I can search divorce or grief associated with divorce. And there's women on here that are going to make me feel better. And part of it is also just having faith, right? One of the things that I've always been good at is reminding myself that like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine, because it already is.
This is how much social media is destroying relationships nowadays by giving women false hopes and creating these groups of delusional women who feed each other that feel-good Kool-Aid so that they can be miserable in numbers. She literally said that if she wants to feel good about her decision-making, she comes to TikTok. All we heard here is someone who makes life-changing decisions according to how she feels at the moment while hurting and destroying the people around her. Now, remember that she said that she is confident that everything will be okay. Let's see how that turned out a few months later.
Okay, you nailed it, HL. You nailed it for sure. Um, yeah, I didn't hear anything, guys. Like I just heard yapping. She was yapping. She was just trying to justify that she messed up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and you got to take accountability. I understand that women, they don't want to take accountability for their actions. You know what I mean? But you have to, bro. That's how you grow. You understand what I'm saying? Because you already lost. You understand? She lost. You understand what I'm saying? There's no turning back. There's no way she can get those years back. You know what I mean? There's nothing that she can do to get her marriage back. You understand what I'm saying? And be able to be happy again. She's just gonna be miserable for the rest of her life. You understand what I'm saying? Because the decision that she made was not the best decision. It's just that's just what it is, bruh. Like that's just what it is. Let's keep it pushing though.
This is really hard. I thought I could talk about this. I didn't realize how raw it was. And I did not expect fucking having a New York City office that I'm commuting into to stir up all of these feelings. I thought I was so past this. I moved out 2 years ago. And I'm not. I had a whole wall in our house of like family portraits. And not in like a corny, horrible way, like in a cool way. Like I had great pictures. And, I only kept the ones of my son, right? And this is one of them. And it's, wait, let me give you a better version. My son, when he was 8, probably. And we were decorating for Christmas. And I remember how lonely I would feel every Christmas. But then I look at this picture. I'm like, oh, that was our mirror. And I remember when we bought it. I remember when we bought those sofas. Or when we installed those light fixtures. I remember the painting that was right above them. Like the stuff in the background. You put together a life with someone, right? And you think you're going to be with them forever. And that's your plan. And you go into it fully, earnestly, thinking you're going to be with them forever. And then you're not. I took that of my son on a vacation. I think I was still trying. But unhappy, but trying. It's sad. No one gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. Right? What is it? Half of all marriages, or like how many marriages actually end in divorce? Like so many, right? So it's almost like rare that you want to be with someone forever. So if you have that, like, oh, that's so fucking awesome. If you don't have it, and you're fighting for it, and then you just can't get there, and then it ends, and then it just feels so awful. I'm like, I'm the one who ended it. This was my choice. I have this, in my apartment, this is all my stuff. This is my choice. You don't expect it to hurt 2 years later.
Well, like I always say on this channel, all these so-called happy divorced women that you see on the internet are just faking it. They cry and regret their decision of leaving the marriage regularly, especially when the ex-husband moves on with his life and become even more successful. The truth is that she left her husband thinking that she could find better. Now, let's see how she got pumped and dumped by Chad.
This is the part 2 of why Israeli guy blocked me. Are you sorry you asked this question? I recognize I am a big part of this problem. I text him. Saturday passes, wasn't thinking much of it. So I'm like, let me text him. I haven't heard from him. So I text him and I asked him some dumb, innocuous question, which, was a thinly veiled attempt that obviously I wanted to see him again. He's like, it sounds like you want to see me again. And I was like, fine. Woman, have you no shame? Nope. So now we're like in maintenance mode before we get to crash and burn and blockage. So in my mind, this is how I'm justifying all of this. I'm like, he's my good time guy. He's very attractive. The men in my demographic, 53, recently divorced, it's bad. Okay, so we're in maintenance mode. We go on a bunch of dates. Again, I decide he's my good time guy. I am guaranteed that if I'm going to see him, we're going to have a good meal. He's going to pay for everything. He's going to be entertaining. We get along. If we didn't get along, I would never have given this guy like a moment of my time. She knows about you. She knows that I'm dating. I know all about the kids. And also, he's a dick. He comes with me to stay at my best friend's house in Connecticut, universally hated. Like, nobody liked him. Nobody had a single good thing to say, except for that he was handsome. Illy, this is a bad man. Illy, he's not a good person. Illy, if you ever bring this guy to my house again, we're done. Ileana, he dulls your sparkle. That should have been enough. Stayed in like the guest house of this house, and my friends thought maybe I was murdered when they didn't see me for breakfast. That should have been enough. It wasn't enough. Been talking about this trip that he was going on in Israel. His brother's a billionaire. His brother's going to be paying for like this fancy villa. He was going to be staying there for 2 weeks with the kids. I asked him casually, like, oh, let's say the ex is named Linda. And I was like, is Linda going? And he's like, well, she might. We don't know yet. She might come for the second half, but she's not staying at the villa. Like, she'll stay at some other hotel. I didn't think anything of it because I was like, well, they're not together. Like, leaves for Israel. He's texting me all the way up until the flight. And, I go on my business. And any means he was not my boyfriend, not my man. We were not exclusive. So I'm like, I haven't heard from this clown. Like, what's he doing? So I text him. And then he's like, oh, the trip is great. He sends me a million pictures of the kids, of him. Men don't take good pictures. Like, these are pictures that a woman took. And since, I'm full of like smooth moves and great judgment, I sent him like a sexy picture and I'm like, this is waiting for you when you get back. And he's like, really? And then he writes back, blood flow. Ick. That should be the end of the story, but it wasn't. I'm like, when are you coming back? And he tells me, oh, he reminds me Saturday. And Sunday rolls around and now it's Monday. I'm like, oh, let me see when I'm seeing this guy, like, for a good time. He has an iPhone. I think I must have deleted the initial text. But I'm green. He blocks me. His last words to me were blood flow. And then he blocked me. And I'm going to do part 3 for the aftermath.
This woman got so hurt after this Chad blocked her to the point that she started to stalk and harass him on social media. Check it out.
Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop and say something. So I understand, when women, have this behavior when they're younger. You understand what I'm saying? Like, women have this thing of, oh, tell me all about it. They sit around in a group or, they tell their friends about what happened with this guy. You know what I mean? The guy that they went out on a date with or the guy that they slept with. They like talking. They like chatting as girls. You understand? They do things so they can chat about them. I understand it when they're young. This woman is 53 years old, guys. She's 53 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And she still thinks she's like 27. She thinks she's like 25, dog. She can still go out with guys and come back and tell her friends and go on social media and have something to talk about and have some content. That's crazy, bro. This woman destroyed her own family so that she can be young again, so she can go out and date again. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. This is not a joke, guys. This is not a joke. This is mental illness. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is mental illness. Let's keep it pushing, though.
Wait, it gets worse. I did not even preserve any of the dignity that I had. And this is basically the ending to the story of how I got blocked by this Israeli guy that I was dating casually, that I'm pretty sure was married and lied to me, and I believed him.
that he lived with his ex-wife, and that he lived with her because they got divorced. He had moved out, gotten an apartment, and he had to move back into the house, but it was this massive house and they lived in separate areas, and that she knew about me. Also, that sounds so fucking stupid. I believed him. Goes on a trip to Israel. I text him a day after I think he's coming home, and all of a sudden my texts go from blue to green because I was blocked. There's nothing you can do. You can't yell at them. You can't go off on them. Like, I had shit to say. And I shared the story with a couple of people, and they were like, yo, you need to tell his wife. And I was like, okay. So I go on her Facebook. I had seen this before, and I don't know, it just didn't register. Her profile picture is a picture of her, the guy, and their 2 kids. They're not divorced. You're done with a guy for 5 years and fully divorced, even if he's living in your house as friends or whatever the fuck. His ass isn't going to be in your profile picture. I also went on his Facebook and sent him a message, and I took a screenshot because I'm full of smooth moves and bad judgment. I took a screenshot of her profile showing that he's in her damn profile picture, and I sent it, and I was like, interesting that you would still be in her profile picture if you guys have been divorced for 5 years. And then I also included a screenshot of our initial conversation on Hinge, where he assured me that he was a really, really good, nice guy. And so I sent him that screenshot, and I was like, you're not a nice guy. You are a trash human. You never responded to me. Of course. Now, I know I should have moved on and not cared, but my feelings were hurt. And also, I wanted revenge. And also, I still want revenge. So it was his birthday. So I know he's not dead. He didn't die in Israel. He did one of those posts like, thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. And I almost replied saying, happy birthday. I hope that you and Linda had a great time with the kids. But I didn't. And I wish that I did. It's 2024 now. So it's, months later. And I sent him one more message. Yeah, this is what I sent him. Not my finest moment. Not gonna lie, I'm 53. I should be an adult and be able to have the emotional regulation judgment to know not to do dumb shit like this, but I don't. And then I sent a picture with a caption. Who is this woman? Who is this woman? What an asshole. I hate him. He was like in my apartment multiple times. He met my friends. He met my son casually. Even though we were dating casually, we weren't exclusive. Like, yo. So yeah, he was definitely married, right? So my theory is that I sent him a sexy picture while he was on vacation. And my theory is that his ex was like, the fuck is that? And for that, or he just lost interest in me, but all points lead to marriage because he's in her picture. I'm not in my ex-husband's picture. He's not in my picture. Okay, so that's what happened. Yeah, 53 and still don't have good judgment.
Of course, you are 53 years old but still act like a teenage girl. No wonder why you threw away a 24-year-old marriage for a reason that you cannot even describe. Guys, this woman is literally incapable of giving a reason why she decided to leave the marriage. Check it out.
Is there anyone else who's been married a very, very long time?
I'm gonna say this, baby girl. You got played. You got played. You should have stayed in your marriage. Your 24-year-old marriage, you were supposed to stay in it. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's hard out here, baby girl. It's hard. Like, you want to come to the jungle and think like, you can play this game. You will never win in this game, especially if you're a woman. Women don't win in this game, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you have a husband as a woman, you understand, and that man is not putting his hands on you or, abusing you emotionally or disrespecting you or cheating on you, you have no right to leave this man. You understand what I'm saying? You have no right to leave that man, because when you come out to these streets, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. We don't care, bro. We don't care. We pump and dump out here. We're not trying to get married to you. We're not trying to be a stepfather to your 24-year-old. You understand? We just wanna F. You feel me? That's what we want to do. You understand? Like, ladies, stay in your marriage. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in your marriages. Don't walk out of your marriages hoping that, it's green on this side. It's not greener on this side. It's darker. It's brown. You understand what I'm saying? It's brown on this side. All the grass is dead this side. Let's keep it pushing though.
And got divorced and split up and has trouble explaining what happened. I've been talking a lot about my divorce, the end of my life as a married woman, having been married for over 20 years, and now I've been on my own for 2 years. And for various reasons, things have resurfaced and bubbled up, and now I'm wanting to talk about it here. People are asking, like, what happened? What happened? I can't point to one thing. And that is not a juicy story. We were young, we lived in the city, we bought a house in the suburbs. I feel like that was still good for a while. I got pregnant when I was 32, still good. For me, it started to not be good at the 10-year mark, but I started to realize that, like, I was deeply unhappy, but I kept trying to, like, stay with it and try. And it was like a slow drift, and there was nothing in this world that I was going to allow to impact my son in any way, shape, or form. My son is 20 now. But I know when he was little, I was like, no, I'm going to work it out. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to stay in this and keep trying. Probably like 20 reasons that contributed to that, but there's not like one single thing that I can point to. Maybe that's what it is. Like death by 1,000 splinters. I think there's like an expression. I'm gonna look it up. I can't find it. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it wasn't just one major thing, like it was like this small thing, and then this other medium-sized thing, and another small thing, and then they just pile and pile and pile, and you're just under all this stuff and just become mentally, physically, emotionally impossible. So it's the sum of a lot of small things versus one big thing. And I know that that's not answering the question, right? So I have no answer. Am I alone in that feeling?
This is the reality that all men that get married need to know and accept. It doesn't matter how lovey-dovey your wife is right now. She can literally change her mind and divorce you without even giving you a reason. And unfortunately, the family court system supports this behavior. Now, this is just the first part of the video. I will drop the second part that shows how she admitted that her ex-husband is a great man. She will admit that she misses coming back to a home full of love. She will even admit being jealous when she sees couples in love. I mean, this woman has all the characteristics of the unstable, emotional, modern woman we talk about all the time over here. So stay tuned for the second part that will drop soon. And above all, don't forget to keep your head up, focus on your goals, and everything else will follow. I love you and I appreciate you for all your support. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share to help push this content to more men in need. I'm out. Peace.
Facts. HL is on point, man. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter, bro, how much a woman loves you right now. She can change, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because women don't understand that being a woman to a certain degree means like destruction, bro. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if I was a woman, bro, the only thing I'll be conscious about is the fact that I'm a woman. If I was a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because like you're 5 minutes away to destroying your family, destroying your own life, and destroying people around you. You understand what I'm saying? Because of your emotions, your emotional roller coaster. What you call, your nature. You know what I mean? Like I would realize that, bro. I will always be like conscious about that if I was a woman. Because it's easy for women to destroy their own lives, though. Look at how, she was just crying Like, I've done so many videos, right? A couple of videos, not so many videos, where women are crying. You understand? They're always crying. They can't even make a video without crying about their divorce. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're regretting every moment. And the world, the media, social media, the society is lying to women and telling them, like, you're more happy when you're single. You understand what I'm saying? Women are happy when they're single. They're happier when they're single. And this is a lie, bruh. This is a lie that they're selling to women. You understand what I'm saying? Look at them, bruh. They're miserable, bruh. I can't wait for part 2, man. I'm definitely doing part 2. Check out part 2, bruh. That's it for today. My name is RJ Godfella, and this is the RJ Godfella Chess. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about this video, and tell me what you think. Peace, I'm out.